If you give Mark a chance to mute us all, we'll let Gary lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yeah, flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, with liberty and justice for all. Guess I said it too quick.
Couldn't get the flag up quick enough. Sorry about that.
Guess I was too anxious.
It's okay. The jitters.
Did we hear back from anybody about the invocation, Mark?
Oh, yep. I got Pastor Crothers. Hold on one second.
Okay, thank you.
Just got messed on mute.
Okay.
Pastor, you're all set.
Yep. Okay, can you hear me? I don't know whether you can see me or not, but give me a thumbs up if you can hear me or something. So,
Yes.
okay, good.
We
All
can
right,
hear you, Pastor.
I am ready then. Let's pray. Gracious Father, we thank you so much for the mercies that you pour out upon us. Lord, it is a gracious thing to always be able to gather together, even though we can't do it in person, to be able with the things that you have allowed man to develop. And we're just grateful for that. And it enables us to come together in a different way. And so, Lord, we pray that you would just bless this meeting. Pray for each one that is tuned in. And Lord, we pray for this community and for its firefighters and policemen and city workers and officials, that, Lord, you would just touch them in a special way, enabling them to serve the community and to honor you in all they say and do. Thank you now, Lord. We pray and ask what we do in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you very much, Reverend.
All righty.
And the clerk will take the roll.
All right, Councilman Blevins.
Here.
Councilman Schlack.
Present.
Councilman Valerius.
Present.
Councilwoman Syke.
Here.
Councilman Lloyd. Oh, Lord.
He's muted.
I apologize. I'm here.
All right, Pro Tem Lally
Yes, I'm here.
and Mayor McLeod.
Here,
We have a quorum, Mayor.
thank you. I have a motion to correct and or approve the agenda.
Motion,
Blevins.
Motion by
second.
Blevins,
Second.
second by Lally. Are there any corrections?
If we can make license and permits pick up to 2020 instead of 2019.
Yes. Under consent agenda B1, that should be number 01-2020 as it is on the form.
Yeah, I like to copy and paste. Thanks, Charles.
We just figured everybody still would like to be back in 2019.
Oh, amen.
Okay, so with that correction, we take a vote.
All right, I have a motion. Blevins, supported by Lally. Shall we adopt the agenda as corrected? Councilman Blevins.
Yes.
Pro Tem Lally.
Yes.
Councilman Lloyd.
Yes.
Mayor McLeod.
Yes,
Councilman Schlack.
Yes.
Councilwoman Syke.
Yes.
And Councilman Valerius.
Yes.
The yeses have it. Next item, Mayor.
next item, I need a motion to approve the minutes from the regular meeting of September 8th.
Motion.
Motion Valerius,
Second.
second Syke. I thought I saw your little bar come on, but I didn't hear anything. There any corrections? If not, would you take the roll call?
Okay, I have a motion by Valerius, supported by Sitch, and should we, Syke, I'm sorry. Shall we adopt the minutes as presented? Pro Tem Lally,
Yes.
Councilman Lloyd,
Yes.
Mayor McLeod,
Yes.
Councilman Schlack,
Yes.
Councilwoman Syke,
Yes.
Councilman Valerius,
Yes.
and Councilman Blevins.
Yes.
The yeses have it. Next item, Mayor.
Thank you. We'll have the city administrator's operational report.
Good evening, Mayor and Council, the residents of Allen Park. Just some few updates here, probably about 15 pages worth, I guess, but it is in big font, so that might help a little bit. See, Matt left my questions. Councilman Valerius, I appreciate that, you know? So, Allen Road remains closed at the Ecorse Creek, and that's between Southfield Road and Outer Drive, and that's in front of Thunderbolt. That'll be until the end of the year as Wayne County replaces that bridge. Alternate route detours have been posted, but we're still dealing with the heavy traffic in that area. The mayor's contacted Wayne County and is trying to get the appropriate road closure signage in the right areas. And as far as we know, we were told, and we just had an update from Sohail Sebek, our city engineer earlier, DT is trying to determine the best way to move their lines out of the construction area so then they can get started with Dan's excavating. But the timeline from Elizabeth Taylor at Wayne County would still be the end of the year. So that has changed because remember, it was supposed to end a month from now in the middle of October. So it has been quite a burden on the city and the residents. And I think the mayor and council, I know Councilwoman Syke, you have some contacts there that I know you've probably have made already. We definitely appreciate that. And I know the residents definitely appreciate that. Any information we can share with them and let them know who to call. We've been able to do that as well. So that has helped a little bit. For the street improvement millage, that is GV Cement. The Park Avenue, the contractor is, again, GV Cement. They finished the restoration work. I drove by there today. It looks really good. They're working on wrapping up the restoration work over on Robinson Avenue, and they should be finished with that by the end of the week. They're putting sod down right now and getting it all watered in. For Meyer Avenue, they've started to remove half of the street between Quant and Arno. I'm not too sure which side, if it's the north or the south side. And then they'll be installing new storm drains over the next few days on that, and then they'll get ready that area for concrete as well. We have had a change of plans on Meyer Avenue. The section between Quant and Allen Road was going to be some sectioning, and when I'm talking sectioning, I'm talking major sectioning, not a piece here, a piece there. There was going to be some big pieces of concrete that need to be replaced. Once we got over there and looking at it, it was better suited to be a full reconstruction. We've also been able to save some money on the budget on the other streets of Park Avenue and Robinson, so we're well within budget, and it's just going to be a full reconstruction there. I think it's a better product there for the residents as well. But we were looking at alternatives, and we were probably going to be able to get into those alternatives in the future where we have some pieces that have been sectioned in the past, but maybe from that section to the intersection is really bad. We'll be able to do some larger sectioning in the future. But this one just didn't warrant that at this time, and it'll be a full replacement. So that'll be, hopefully that'll be happy to the residents, but it'll be a little bit more time consuming and an inconvenience as well. They've gone the entire summer with the water main replacement and now this, but I think in the end of the day, it'll be worth it. I think we counted over there in the last 3 years, they had 5 water main breaks or something like that over the period of time, which is quite a few. And quite a burden when you're trying to get it ready for work and want to jump in the shower and that. So when talking about the water replacement, they have one lead service remain to be installed. That person had been out of town and they're now back in town, so they'll be able to get that scheduled probably within the next 30 days. That'll be finished up completely on that portion of the project. For street sectioning, Savone Cement's been doing that. They've done an excellent job. Wick Road is one of the big pieces they were working on, and if you haven't gone by there, it is now fully open. It is wonderful to drive from Allen Road to Park Avenue, all concrete, both sides. And Tom has a plan to do Wick from Park Avenue back to Vine as well, and that should take a couple years to take care of all those. It's probably the same way, the long stretches first, and then come back in and do the intersections. The intersections have a little bit more cost because of the ADA ramps and a little bit more involved, so he can get more long stretches taken care of and then come back and do those. It's just a little bit more cost effective. Repaving of Beatrice Avenue. This is an item the council approved last council meeting from Quant to Arno. Is scheduled for October 5th or 6th, depending on the weather. They're also going to be doing the DDA alleys. I think they have 3 alleys. I do not know the sections for those alleys, but I will find that out for you. I'm looking here. I don't see Jennifer in the side there. Maybe I can. I'll text Tom and find that out and have that ready for us for the next meeting there. Savone Cement has started to replace the ramp in front of the fire station. This is a project we approved back in the springtime. Actually, I think it was approved in February. They've been really busy though, but they're finally getting to that. They have done a portion already. I think it's gonna be done in thirds. They have a second pour scheduled for Friday. So they're making some progress on getting that replacement of that ramp. And if you recall, that was in really rough shape over there. The roof replacement also at the fire station is scheduled to start on Monday. So it'll be a little bit of activity going on there at the on Roosevelt Avenue there. For the DPS project, Poured Walls is the company that's doing the footings, and they have started to pour the footings for the building on the west side of the building. GV is forming the salt dome. I call it a salt dome, but it's a salt, I guess it's a salt dome. Let's go salt dome. Pad and the roadway to that pad, and they'll be pouring concrete by the end of this week or first of next week. And then the steel beams and building are scheduled to arrive any day now. So they'll be staging those items on the roadway that's already been constructed. So they'll be able to use some of the roadway and then store the building itself on there until they're ready to go. I think we're probably a few weeks until we're going to see some structure going up there, but and once they get going, I think you'll start seeing a lot more activity. And Bob will get pictures. Right now, everything is underground, so it's kind of hard to show a picture that. So, but once we get those, I'll start sharing those a little bit more. And there is a nice article going in the magazine. That's in my next item on the agenda here. The second edition of the Allen Park Today is scheduled to be delivered the middle of next week. One of those articles is the new DPS facility, and I'm always trying to gather ideas for future editions. So if you have something, let me know. I know from one of the study sessions, I've got those ideas. We're going to be highlighting a couple of the commissions. We're going to be highlighting some employees' accomplishments. We got some graduation with the master's degree from the police department that'll be honored, and I believe we'll have. Sergeant Phelps graduating from Staff and Command School. And I also want to get in and do an interview with Betty Nixdorf on the historical. She has a lot of knowledge on the community. So we'll get those scheduled here with the Allen Park Today staff to get everything taken care of. Just a little bit, I didn't put these in your sheet, but I want to give you a little bit more housekeeping. 2 meetings ago, council authorized myself and Bob to talk to somebody about the property, the 4.5 acres behind the old City Hall property. We selected to work with Greg Lauschinger from CBRE. And Greg is actually, I butchered his last name, but Greg is actually a resident here in Allen Park. He lives over on Belfour between Ecorse and Champaign. And so I think he was the perfect person. We also talked to Signature and Associates, but we just felt dealing with CBRE and Greg was a little bit better fit for us. And then also just add to your to-do or your future schedule for October 24th is going to be Shred Day. So Saturday, October 24th, 9 to 1 is the Shred Day. I might want to get with Councilman Valeris. I think, Councilman, you had some suggestions on maybe some things that we could add to it. So I'll get with you to get that information and what we can do to make this better. I'm not certain of the location just yet. We're either going to be at the community center, like we were with the Zeal Credit Union Shred Day about last year, or we'll be at the library. So I'm not certain of which one is we'll select just yet. And then also we have some milestones being reached this week here or next week. I guess it would be 2. Deputy Chief Ed Can just happens to be on the agenda tonight, and it happens to be his 15 years anniversary on September 26th. So thank you, Deputy Chief, for your years of service with the City of Allen Park. And then Justin Ogden, who has in the Water Department, he has 5 years on the 28th of September. So we do appreciate Justin's dedication as well, although a couple of years less, but he is very wise in his time that he's been here working in our Water Department. We have a really good team in that department. They don't have a lot of experience and years of service, but they are very knowledgeable in what they do, and we do appreciate their hard work. I sent this item out earlier, and just to try to kind of gauge the council's feeling of the item. We've talked about Halloween in the past. I saw Halloween come up on a couple of different Facebook pages, so I wanted to see if this is something that might be acceptable to council to go ahead and post. I did hear back from a few, but if anybody wants to chime in or not, and if everything's okay, I'll go ahead and post, but I want to get your 2 cents with it.
Mayor, if I could. Yeah, I just wanted to say that I read through it, and I think that it's great. I think it's a great reminder to our citizens that it's not a Allen Park public sanctioned event. And just to remind everybody again that we are in the midst of a pandemic, and to follow all of the recommendations by health officials, because those are the best tools and resources we have to keep everybody safe and make sure that we get to be able to celebrate many Halloweens to come. So thank you, Mark. I think it was very well said.
And I agree with, but it's very good. I like that because it's, hey, it's Halloween. That's for the kids, man. So all they have to do is be safe.
Yeah, Deputy Chief Can added had one question, and I think Chief LaFond helped with that as well. And I may try to incorporate this item in there, is distribution of candy. I think everybody's quick idea is, put it in a bowl at the end of the driveway and let the people just kind of grab what they want. That could become a cesspool of germs. And Deputy Chief is, those Deputy Chief and Chief LaFond have been all over this COVID stuff. So maybe a recommendation that maybe the people consider using gloves and masks, and maybe packaging up the candy prior and putting out, in individual items for the kids to take.
Put them in bags and give it to them.
Yeah. So we'll incorporate something in there. The only other question I have is and I'm going to read this for the public as well, but was the time, and I believe 6 to 8 is usually the time we have used for Halloween in the past. So I will keep that in there if that's okay. And I'll go ahead and read this if you don't mind. And this will be a PSA for Halloween. The city has received several inquiries from residents asking if Halloween will take place this year in light of COVID-19. Halloween is not a city-sanctioned event, but rather a nationally recognized holiday. Other than announcing the suggested hours, usually 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., the city has no further involvement. The city has no legal authority or basis to cancel Halloween or restrict the free movement of its residents. All residents who participate, however, should adhere to any public health recommendations from the state of Michigan and Wayne County Health Departments. Be safe and operate common sense, such as wear a mask. This is where you can insert the Halloween jokes here. I guess we'll keep that in there. Social distancing, if not in the same household. Any household with a positive case should not participate. Any individuals with symptoms should not participate. Follow any other guidance from public health officials. And finally, be smart, be safe, and have fun.
Great.
Sounds great.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and I'll get that up on the Facebook. I actually had a message came in today from one of the residents. I said, if you just give me a little bit of time, I'm going to present this to council, and we'll go ahead and get it posted up if council's okay with everything on there. So, and then I just...
Mark, the only change I would suggest making is when you say be safe, I would say and use common sense
Use common sense.
rather than operate.
Sounds good.
As my father always told me, common sense ain't so common.
I'm a fan of the Oxford.
Which is why we have a list.
Right, and then just also one off the chart here was there's a blood drive Friday, September 25th at the community center, and that is from 11 to 5. So please donate if you can. I imagine the mayor's already got her appointment
I
scheduled.
do. 11 a.m. 11 a.m.
So what about the pumpkin patch? Mark? Excuse me. I have a I'm sorry. I have a question.
I apologize. I don't have anything on the pumpkin patch. I know Charles had sent some stuff over, but I have not heard anything further. Maybe Charles, or Tony, or maybe even Mike, if you know anything from
Mark, giving mayor, council. I did talk to Mark, and Mark doesn't know. He's willing to do the pumpkins, but he doesn't know. Charles, I don't know if they're going to have a pumpkin patch in Henry Ford's, Greenville Village.
So
That's what he's waiting for.
So they are having the Halloween nights at Greenfield Village. I witnessed myself. There are pumpkins in a giant box and all that stuff. So we still haven't even done like how are they going to do the carving and all that stuff with these pumpkins and all that stuff. But it's something that I think Mr. Bailey needs to either email someone from Greenfield Village of how to get them and all that stuff, because it's pretty much the same thing, but they're not doing the trails. It's just a kind of like a free for all from 4 to 9. So usually Mark picks them up on Sunday. So
Right. Sunday night.
So that's something the Elks Club or Mark would have to talk to someone from higher up from Greenfield Village on how to get them. And then with the event that he has on Park Avenue,
Well, no, because
Yeah.
he's been doing this for 30-some years. And he knows what he's got to do, but he's waiting for a okay from Greenfield Village to pick up the pumpkins on Sunday after 10 o'clock.
Okay.
at night.
Councilwoman Sykes.
I just haven't, because the Elks.
You're cutting out.
Don't they do hot dogs or something?
Yes,
Don't they do hot dogs?
Yeah,
the
they do.
Elks,
They
Tony?
do, but the Elks, I don't think it's going to be participating this year because of.
Well, that was one of my questions. We're all talking about Greenfield Villages has pumpkins, but they haven't carved them yet. The way they're doing it is Halloween nights. They're going to have limited access. They're not going to be handing out candy. Basically, it's going to be like the Christmas holiday nights where you're going to have a restricted number of people who can walk around the village and look at the decorations, and that's it. My concern, and we may have to discuss this with council, is that Mr. Bailey usually comes, and when I say council, I mean not council members as in COUNCIL, but council as in legal. Mr. Bailey comes to city council and asks for the road closure and the permit to do this. What we're encountering now is we're still faced with executive orders that restrict the number of people who can gather in one location. And if you have the pumpkin patch, whether or not the Elks hands out hot dogs, you are going to have potentially a large number of people in excess of orders and no way of restricting it. Unlike the fundraiser that was held in the council park for the honor guard, where X number of tickets were sold and people who showed up were advised that they were at a limit. There's no way to control that, and that is my concern. And so I think this may be the year it doesn't happen. Mr. Councilman Valerius.
Yeah, through the chair. And, we also have to, in light of what you said, we have to also remember it's not just the citizens of Allen Park that attend that. I mean, people come and they drive in from other cities. And like I said, there's just no way to control the numbers. And once again, if it's an event like that where they're closing streets, it becomes basically a sort of a city sponsored event. And that's not something that I think we want to, mess with in light of like Dan said with the pandemic. And, if we're telling people to be smart and safe and use common sense, it doesn't make much common sense to hold, a large pumpkin patch that's going to attract, a multitude of people in a confined, basically a confined space, or in, even though it's open air, it's still going to attract a number of people that you cannot control the numbers of.
I don't disagree. I'm the chair. I don't disagree that we probably shouldn't have it this year. I mean, we can't obviously control it. But my thing is that we need to communicate with our long residents who put this service on for us for many, many years, but we need to talk with them.
Sure.
And I think that conversation needs to be had now so that they don't make a lot of preparation for an event that they can't have. I'm pretty sure that they pretty much know they're not going to be able to, but I think it should really just be a conversation between the city and them to discuss this issue.
I
Well,
agree.
thank you, through the mayor and council. What I'd like to say is this, I mean, if Mark decides to go get pumpkins and just puts it out there, I don't see no point having no problem at all. All they have to do is drive through there and look at the pumpkins. They don't have to walk down that way. They don't have to close the roads. It's just to say this is Halloween weekend, and this is what we got. You should not, you shouldn't stop the
Decorations.
Yeah.
decoration. No, you shouldn't stop the decorations at all.
That's
Let
a,
them have it.
that's a good point. I think Dan wanted to,
I was just gonna, and I don't want to step anyway. I was just gonna make a point of order that I don't think that this is necessarily the forum for debate on this. I think that might be a work session thing or committee thing that we could maybe do and move on with business.
that's a good point. We are meeting on October 6th for just a kind of a work session, study session, and we can talk about it there and maybe iron some things out. But I understand Tony's point as far as decorations. People like to see the pumpkins, so that's something that can be addressed. But we may need to have some other communication, as Councilwoman Syke pointed out, to indicate so that everybody's clear, so that we don't have people coming there with an expectation. There has to be, I think, something publicized.
Right.
So there's no expectation that, hey, it's going to be going on there. So perhaps we can talk about that. Councilman Schlack, did you have something?
I did not know.
Oh, okay, sorry.
What I'm saying is, Mayor, I'm not trying to disturb anybody. I'm just
No,
saying,
we
this is
understand.
Halloween night. And as far as Mark said about the trick or treat and stuff, it's up to the people what they want to do.
Right,
And then they have to be careful. Now, if they want to put pumpkins out there, that's fine. It's just like decorating your own home. Same thing.
right.
Okay, you don't have to walk like they always did before, and then get a hot dog and give them peanuts from the Kiwanis and all
Okay.
that good
All
stuff.
right, I think we got it.
That's all.
Can we move on?
I'm not getting exaggerated about it. I mean, we don't have to have a special meeting about it.
No,
I don't
Tony,
think
that wasn't the point. Dan said that if we wanted to discuss this further, it didn't need to be discussed at this current council meeting. We already have scheduled
Right.
October 6th because we had agreed that we were going to meet at least once a month to have a work study session. So I just said, let's postpone it per Dan's suggestion. We'll postpone it until October 6th if we want to talk about the details. But
Okay.
at this point, can I have a motion to accept and file the administrator's report?
I'll make a motion to accept and file.
Motion by Tony, second by
Dan,
Dan. Sorry.
s'mores.
Okay, to take the roll call, please.
All right, shall we adopt the updates, reports, documents, submissions? Councilman Lloyd,
Yes.
Mayor McLeod,
Yes.
Councilman Schlack,
Yes.
Councilwoman Syke,
Yes.
Councilman Valerius,
Yes.
Councilman Blevins,
Yes.
and Pro Tem Lally.
Not a problem.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, and now we come to public comments. If there's any of our residents that would like to comment, you have 4 minutes to do so. And all we ask is that you provide your name and the street on which you live. We do not want you to give the exact address. Thank you.
Mayor, I'm looking over the attendee section. I don't see anybody raising their hand just yet. And again, still nobody raising their hand.
Okay, if there's no one coming forward, we will move on to the consent agenda. We have a motion to approve the consent agenda consisting of purchasing actions, claims and accounts payroll report, and the license and permits. One for curbside pickup, number 01-2020 from Frank Shed.
Motion.
Motion by Mr.
Oh.
Valerius.
Second.
Second by Mr. Schlack. All in favor, roll call, please.
All right, I got a motion by Valerius, supported by Schlack, to approve the consent agenda. Mayor McLeod,
Yes.
Councilman Schlack,
Yes.
Councilwoman Syke,
Yes.
Councilman Valerius,
Yes.
Councilman Blevins,
Yes.
Pro Tem Lally,
Of course.
and Councilman Lloyd.
Yes.
The yeses have it. Next item, Mayor.
Thank you. Now we come to resolutions. The first one is a resolution for the city of Allen Park to support the Fire Cadet / Explorer program. May I have a motion?
Motion Blevins.
By
Second.
Blevins, second by
Hilarious.
Mr. Lally.
That's fine. Lally, go ahead, Tony.
I'm sorry, I
Oh,
saw
you're
his
good.
hand go up.
Nope, he's good.
Are there any questions, discussion?
No, I just would like to thank, Deputy Chief Can and also Kerry Thompson, Lieutenant Thompson, and also Principal Leduc for coming to attending the work session and kind of highlighting some of the things that, are with the cadet program. I think it's an awesome opportunity for kids to get involved. So I just wanted to vocalize that, so.
Oh, I like this. I see Mike Darga is on the picture here. I was wondering if he could comment on that for a little bit. I'll approve it, but I just like to hear him to say something about that. Mike?
I'm sorry, I was trying to get my system set up. Could you repeat the question?
I just wanted to know how you feel about this fire cadets.
Oh, extremely excited. Yeah, I mean, I was happy that Deputy Chief Ed Can had reached out to me, shared information about the program, wanted to know, where Allen Park would stand. And as a superintendent of schools, I couldn't be more excited the opportunity, obviously, to support the program on behalf of the students of Allen Park Public Schools. This means that the students, our senior students at the high school, would also have the ability to participate. So whenever we've got the opportunity to give our students more experiences, I'm all for it.
Thank you.
Mr. Darga, I had one question because the comment you made. I just want to make sure that this also encompasses the community school students.
It does, yes, yeah.
Very good.
And then I think we're going to get more information to make sure that because it is open to all Wayne County students, that it covers all students, no matter what school system they're in, and whether that's parochial or public.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, Councilwoman Syke?
I don't know if you can speak for the parochial part of it.
No, I said we're going to get more information along the line.
Yeah, that's after.
Sorry, I didn't comment.
Yeah. No, I said we were going to get more information since it says Wayne County, and so
Right.
that question had come up, so I think that would be of interest. Any other comments or questions?
No.
Hearing none, then can we take the vote?
Okay, I have a motion by Blevins, supported by Lally, for the Fire Cadet Explorer program. Councilman Schlack,
Absolutely.
Councilwoman Syke,
Yes.
Councilman Valerius,
Definitely yes.
Councilman Blevins,
Yes.
Pro Tem Lally,
Definitely.
Councilman Lloyd,
Yes.
and Mayor McLeod.
Yes.
The yeses have it. Next item, Mayor.
Next item is a resolution for the fire department to utilize the 2019 AFG grant and purchase a long list of items, including fire hoses and a vent master and a ventilation saw, I'm assuming I don't have to read the entire. I have a
No, you
motion.
don't. I'll have to take the motion because it's very important to have all this stuff.
Motion by Mr. Lally,
Second by Dan Lloyd.
second by Dan Lloyd. Any questions, comments? I think we got a pretty thorough overview.
You gotta read it all, but, and I did. Okay,
There's no questions or comments. Can we take the roll call vote?
Okay, I've got a motion by Pro Tem Lally, supported by Councilman Lloyd. Shall the resolution regarding the outfitting of the fire vehicles pass?
No, yeah, that's it.
yeah, all that good stuff.
Like,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
not the
no,
vehicles.
The
Not the vehicle.
grant. Sorry, I jumped ahead.
Yep.
This is about the grant for the hose. I
All
apologize.
right, yeah.
The hose, et cetera.
See, that's why I always like to put the departments together, but this came in late, so I'm sorry. So we'll go with the 2019 AFG grant, Councilman Syke,
Yes.
Councilman Valerius,
Yes.
Councilman Blevins,
Yes.
Pro Tem Lally,
Yeah,
Councilman Lloyd,
Yes.
Mayor McLeod,
Yes,
and Councilman Schlack.
Yes.
The yeses have it.
thank you. Now on to resolution 3, to enter into an agreement with Munetrix for the transparency edition at $3,861 per year for 3 years, and submit the grant to the state of Michigan to reimburse the city for half the cost, with funds to come from account 101-221-963-000. May I have a motion?
Motion Lloyd.
Motion by Lloyd,
Second, Valerius.
second by Valerius. Any questions, comments?
Yeah,
I have,
I gotta say,
I'm
the
sorry,
finance director, she snuck that in there with, that's out of my account number. Why the heck? I gotta just find that out.
you gotta pay for
Can
that.
I guess so.
Who
Well, yeah, you
wants,
make enough money, you can pay.
somebody wants to be recognized here. Tony?
Okay, yes, I do. You know what, I didn't know exactly what Munetrix was, and I went there and talked to this young lady. I'm no good with names, I'm sorry.
There's
You mean our new
Amanda.
finance director?
Amanda, Aspetta, please, 1 minute. And then, and she explained to me, I even sit down and ask questions and everything, and she told me exactly what was going on. That to me meant a lot, because you know what, I didn't know anything about Munetrix and what they do and for the good of the finance department and the citizens of Allen Park. And I thought that was a great answer, and I appreciate what she did for me. I thank you very much, and I'm for it. That's it.
Anybody else?
I know it's an incurring thing. Every so many years you gotta redo it, but I didn't know that, okay? Something I didn't know, and I'm glad.
Right,
I know
it
now.
may not have been something that was on our website when you were back first on council, so, yeah.
Whatever, before
It's
the mayor.
new, yeah.
When I was you then, okay.
Anybody
Okay,
else have any questions? If not, then we can take the roll.
All right, I've got a motion by Lloyd, supported by Valerius for the Munetrix Transparency Edition. Shall this resolution pass? Councilman Valerius,
Yes.
Councilman Blevins,
Yes.
Pro Tem Lally,
definitely.
Councilman Lloyd,
Yes.
Mayor McLeod,
Yes,
Councilman Schlack,
Yes.
and Councilman Syke.
Yes.
The yeses have it. Next
Okay.
item.
resolution 4, to authorize the fire department to send 2 new Ford Rangers and 1 new Ford F-250 pickups to Synergy Products to be outfitted with emergency lighting, sirens, graphics, and other necessary equipment at a total cost of $23,892.69, with funds to come from their account. I believe that this was already communicated to us at the time that these vehicles were purchased that there was going to be some aftermarket expenses. And I have a motion.
Motion,
Motion.
Blaine.
Motion by Valerius,
Support Blevins.
supported by Blevins. Questions or comments?
Do we know approximately how long it's going to take for them to outfit the vehicles, or once they go in? I don't know if Chief Stefan could address that. If there's a timeline in regards to the time you actually drop them off. I know it's quite a lot of work that's getting done. I'm just kind of curious as to how long they'll have the vehicles to install everything.
Oh yeah, Deputy Chief Ken and I were talking to Roy over at the garage yesterday, I believe it was, and he talked to Synergy. They know the trucks are in. They're ordering all the equipment. It totally depends on COVID at this point. He's thinking 2 months on the very outside. Once they get everything in and they get the trucks in there, it's like a week to get it done. It's just a matter of waiting for all the stuff to show up. So
Okay. All right. Thank you.
yep.
Just to be clear, Chief, once you take it in, it's only going to take a week.
Yeah, a week or so. Yeah.
Okay, but depending on when the stuff comes in, it may be a month. So are
Right.
you able to utilize this equipment in the interim?
Right now they're just sitting over at the city garage. Roy's got them stored, and we're using our old trucks until then, and then they'll be sent out to be outfitted. And then when they're done, we'll swap out. And I think Chief Egan has some interest in our trucks we're taking out of service.
Okay.
Very good.
Does anyone else have any questions? If not, then we can take the roll.
Okay, I have a motion by Valerius, supported by Blevins. Shall we allow the fire department to outfit their new vehicles? Councilman Blevins,
Yes.
Pro Tem Lally,
Definitely.
Councilman Lloyd,
Yes.
Mayor McLeod,
Yes.
Councilman Slack,
Yes.
Councilwoman Syke,
Yes.
and Councilman Valerius.
Yes.
The yeses have it.
Thank you. Okay, and now we come to council comments. And tonight, Tony is first.
Really? Again?
I sent you a sheet.
You know, I don't know.
Here it is.
All the time. Well, you know, I don't have much to say, but it's been a week and a half since we haven't seen each other, and I really don't like it. I like to be in front of everybody live, but that's okay. We're working out very well as we are. I just want to thanks to the Chief of Police, Chief Egan, for doing a beautiful fundraiser for the Honor Guards. That turned out really good. Most of us were there, and I thank you all for being there, and thank the Knights of Columbus for hosting the place for it. And I think that place is getting a lot of use right now. Next week, there's going to be another function for music in the park. This Saturday, matter of fact, it's $10 to get in, but it's only limited 100 people, just like before. And they had a good time. Everybody's having a good time. As far as the Halloween thing is concerned, I'm glad that Mark Gibby came up with that letter, because that's very important for the kids in Allen Park to go out there and do their trick-or-treating. I can't believe it, because, you know, when my kids were small, I used to go with them. Of course, you know, when we go the door to door, that's a different trick-or-treat, but we did have a good trick-or-treat. And I think that's great. I know we can't touch each other, but like somebody suggested about put food in a little bag and give it to them. I mean, no food, but candy and whatever you want to give out. I think that's great. Now, as far as the pumpkin patch, like I said before, I don't see no problem in him having the pumpkin patch out there. If he does or not, it's up to him, because he was pretty upset about other things, but I think he says he'd be willing to do it, because remember, we tried to do the drive-in Halloween. We can't do it because because I just don't want to take a chance right now. But if somebody else wants to do it, that's fine. I'll be helping them. And thank God for that, that somebody's really put the effort out there to do this stuff. And I don't know if Jennifer Kibbe is going to do anything about the movie theater, the theater. I don't know if you know anything about that, Mark. I'm not sure. But that's what's going on so far, but I don't know if it's going to happen. Other than that, you know, we're doing fine. God bless everybody. God bless those guys in the military that's doing our work for us. God bless the veterans. God bless the United States of America. And God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. Dan?
It's kind of a coincidence. We have a number of items on the agenda for the fire department this evening, and I said a kind of an unfortunate little reminder. The other day I was walking out of my house and my fiance calls me up when I'm on the other side of the door, said, "Hey honey, the oven's on fire." And so I kind of rushed in. Luckily I had a up-to-date fire extinguisher and in the sink, put it out. It was no problem. But looking at these items tonight, I think sometimes it's very easy to forget how fortunate we are here in the city of Allen Park to have such a professional and top-notch fire department. It's one of those things that you hope that you never need. But I know that I do, and I think that many other residents do, sleep well, knowing that they have men and women out there that are willing to protect our city. And just another thing, on this note, because again, it's on top of mind because we have a few agenda items here, is I don't want Deputy Chief Can or Chief LaFawn to forget how much we appreciate all the work that they did do in their response to COVID and are still doing to keep the citizens of Allen Park safe. So that is absolutely a very necessary resource that we have, and I'm glad to see that we're able to get them what they need to help keep the citizens of Allen Park safe. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Pam?
Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you for attending our council session tonight. I appreciate our fire department and our police department very much, but I think sometimes we forget that we have another department that works out on the road that put their life on the line, and that is our DPW workers, our water and sewer department. They recently, I'm sure you've heard that someone was killed on the roadway recently where he got hit. So remember, when we're going through these construction zones and we're going through, you know, it's getting late in the year and everybody wants stuff to be over with. But remember that behind those yellow cones, those orange cones, and that's really, they're just orange cones, that's what's protecting our workers. And make sure that you pay attention as you're going through and you obey the traffic signing and you don't speed through them, because their lives are in danger also. I've had many friends pass because of being hurt on a road project. So with that, I'm asked that you slow down and pay a little attention to your surroundings a little bit more as the weather changes and dusk starts happening a little earlier. And thank you all. It's a lovely fall day, and fall is coming, and our world is still continuing. It's just a little different. So thank you very much, and you have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Pam. Matthew?
Okay. Kind of piggybacking off Tony, just had an awesome time at the fundraiser for the Honor Guard. My dad and I went. Like I said, two of his favorite singers, impersonators were there. So he had an awesome time. It was a great night, and sharing in that night with some fellow council members and citizens. It was great. I had a really enjoyable evening, and I know he was more than ecstatic to get out and spend some time outdoors listening to music that he grew up with and loved so much. So I appreciate that. other than, voicing the same sentiments that my fellow council people have, Pam, you brought up the ending of summer and the beginning of fall, it being the very first day of fall or autumn today. My mind started rolling, and it's been a while since I did a poem, so I wrote a little poem, so I'll share that with you, and that'll be it for me. So here goes. So as the breezes seem cooler, the sun not as bright, air conditioners are silent, windows closed at night. The summer heat has left us, for some gone too soon. Out come the sweatshirts and jackets, shorts and swimsuits packed till June. We witness the miraculous change as we share a change in seasons. We say goodbye to summer and hello to fall for these reasons. The beautiful colors painted in the trees, a warm blanket and apple cider, sugar donuts and hot chocolate, houses decorated with ghosts and spiders. Roses and daisies replaced with mums, no more grass to mow. Find that rake and bag those leaves. Get ready to shovel some snow.
Oh, God.
Halloween and Thanksgiving, Christmas in 94 days. Say goodbye to summer and start a countdown till May. Enjoy this time of change. I know I surely will. I bid farewell to hot, humid days and welcome the fall chill. Autumn days will lead to winter nights, colored leaves to snow and ice. A beautiful picture painted by God. Notice I never mentioned pumpkin spice. That's all I got. Have a great evening.
Thank you, Matt. Gary?
I'll be short and sweet. I want to definitely echo everything that my fellow council folks have did, and definitely say to Matt that I share autumn is my favorite season. And I think we still have a little more grass to cut. I don't think that's over quite yet. But I want everyone to be safe, wear your mask. And before I say see you all next week, I want to have a brief moment of silence, if we could, for Justice Ginsburg. She was a trailblazer and quite an icon for our country for more than 30 years. So I think that is definitely worthy of our council's time. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary.
And without further ado, I'll see you all when we reconvene at our next meeting.
Thank you. Charles?
See, now I want some apple cider and donuts with that poem, First off, I want to say thank you to the achievements to the two employees that work for our city. 6 more weeks until the lovely election, so make sure you go out and vote. Going for my walks and noticing things, just make note, Cortland and Pinecrest, the stop signs maybe need some reflectors or something, because I've seen a lot of people just go down that street and don't see the stop sign, or if they do, they just go through it, but just something to look into. Another creative idea for military down on Southfield, some other flags that we could think about is have the branches down on the poles, like Army, Air Force, Coast Guard, Marine, Navy, things that create more things of awareness months, ribbons, different events, supporting our fire, medical, and police, have different flags or ribbons. So just try things to be creative for our city. That little things can make a big impact. I know we talked about Halloween and the pumpkin patch. I don't know if I'm assuming not about the high school, if they're doing a homecoming parade. I'm not sure about that. And then
Dan says no.
Okay, and then during our next work session meeting, maybe also being proactive and thinking ahead about our Christmas parade as well. I wasn't able to make it to the Honor Guard fundraiser, but I heard all positive things, and it's a great job on that. I do feel bad for all those workers that are in bowling alleys and movie theaters right now with just keep them their thoughts. And then I'm not sure if it's in our timeline with roads and stuff. I know we've been working on Park Avenue. If we're ever gonna fix from Champaign to Regina, that section, because I know when we did our bike parade, that section was needed to get fixed and all that stuff, but just something to look into as well. And just want to say thank you, everyone, always. And it does mean a lot to represent this great city. And it's one of those things when we talked about we wish to be back in 2019. Well, I was on here in 2019, but you know, it does mean a lot to represent the city, and I'm so glad to be up here on here with all of you, and like always, stay positive and have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you, Charles. Mike, do you have any words of wisdom you'd like to impart to us?
Okay, I'm assuming you guys can hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, I just real quick want to touch down on absentee ballots for the November 3rd election. We have them in and we are preparing them for the mail. We're hopefully going to get most of them in the mail by the end of this week, but everybody that has already requested a ballot, they should have them at their homes by the first week of October. So if you don't have it, just give us a call and we'll let you know when it was mailed, if it was mailed. So I'll be going over websites that you could check. I just don't have them here with me, but through the Michigan Secretary of State, you can go and actually track your absentee ballot. I was told a lot of people are putting information out on that, so I kind of held off till I knew what it was for sure, but we will be publicizing that a lot. Do want to remind everybody that with all the push for absentee ballots, the polls, all of them will be open on November 3rd from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. But if you have any questions, I prefer you give my office a call. That way we could give you a straight answer and get your problem taken care of. With that, I'd like to thank everybody for coming out tonight. God bless you and good night.
Thank you, Mike. Okay, one of these days I'm going to put myself first and surprise everybody and have one of you have the last comments. But I figured you folks would cover a lot of things, and you know, it's funny when you're doing these Zoom meetings. I'm glad that some of you remember that there are people who are watching or will watch, so we do appreciate that. Those who are attending and observing and participating, it is appreciated. Mark had mentioned the second edition of the Allen Park Today magazine, and we're hoping that everybody receives one this time around, because I'm still waiting for my first one. But one of the things in that, and I want to remind the residents who receive them, this is a magazine we're hoping that you hang on to because it contains a lot of valuable information. And some of that is contact information, and there's a page in there that contains some very important contact information as far as department numbers. Sometimes people Google numbers and they don't get a correct one through Google. We've had that happen. And also Facebook pages. On this contact information page, you will find listed the various city Facebook pages, and these are the official pages of the city, for the city itself, for the fire department, the police department, they are the library, Parks and Rec, the historical home. They all have their own Facebook page, which are your city Facebook pages. So we would like you to focus on the information there where you're going to get accurate information. As Mike Mizzy said, if you've got a question regarding voting, contact the clerk's office. This is where you will get the information you need and want. I don't know how many of you get the Allen Park Guardian, but I do. And we have in our midst a gentleman named Claude Freeburn, who is a resident at the Maple Heights residency here in Allen Park. He turned 105 on August 31.
God bless.
He was born in 1915. He moved to Maple Heights just last year in September, apparently, after he turned 104. He came from Dearborn. I think, according to the newspaper article, he started out on the east side of Detroit and ended up in Dearborn, I think, because of work. And he moved to us here. And just so you all know, I intend to send him a congratulatory letter from myself and all of you. We haven't verified it, and I'm not sure we are able to, but he is probably the oldest resident in Allen Park, unless someone else comes in and lets us know. So big congratulations to Mr. Freeburn. I don't know if Mike Darga is still around, but the Allen Park Public Schools, and Dan probably is aware of this, and I forwarded it to all of you, but for those who are watching, the school board is continuing remote learning. They have sent a letter out to all of the parents in the Allen Park School District that they will continue remote learning in conjunction with the governor's executive orders and also guidance that they've gotten from Wayne County as to statistics they should look at before they decide to start phasing in other in-school work. So that communication, as I said, did go out and it was shared with council. Our next official council meeting is October the 13th. And I just want everyone to be aware, see if I can perhaps be in two places at one time. October 13th happens to be Metastatic Breast Cancer Awareness Night. And I was approached by someone I know and asked if we would participate in bringing awareness to metastatic breast cancer, which apparently receives only about 2% of research funding. And they were asking for locations to light up in their 3 colors. Apparently, this is done worldwide. And last year, the only participating city in Michigan was Grand Rapids. Through my friend's efforts, there is going to be a lot of structures lit up. Our city hall is going to be one of them. And I managed to make contact with the people who own Uniroyal Tire, and the Uniroyal Tire will be lit up in the 3 colors for metastatic breast cancer. I also sent a communication out to downriver mayors, and the city of Southgate responded immediately, and they are planning on lighting up a number of their buildings. I understand that buildings in downtown Detroit, and I haven't heard back from her about Dearborn, but the Ford family is lighting Ford Field and also made a very nice donation to the group. So just in case you're wondering what the colors are on the front of the building, that's what it's for. And if you know anyone who's dealing with that, keep them in your thoughts and prayers. They're a very brave bunch. I know over the years, I see her posting about losing another member of their group. So it's something that these individuals have come to live with. Hopefully some of them for a very long time. Again, I appreciate all of you and your perspectives and the things that I learned from you each and every time we meet. I'll send an email out about the tentative work session on October 6th. And other than that, I have nothing more to say. Thank you again. And Mr. Kibbe, you're on mute.
Usually I gotta tell you guys to unmute there. Sorry about that. The words of Councilman Blevins were heard, and actually portion of Park Avenue will be completed in 2021. We're gonna be working on the portion from Regina to Angelique. It's probably the worst 2 sections are between Angelique and Oceana. I think there's 2 streets in there. I think I forget the one between there, but that 2-block stretch is probably the worst. And then we'll take it all the way back up to, or I guess that'd be to Thomas, and then to Marquise and Regina. And then the other street will be Hanford between Allen Road and Roger, and that'll also be getting a water main.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And that'll be, there's a bunch of information. I think you're gonna be really happy with the magazine coming out on next week. So if you don't get a copy, please let me know right away. If you don't get it in your mailbox, let me know right away so we can let Mark Fisher know and they can let the post office know. We had major issues the first time around. He set up a new system to make sure that they are working with the postmaster downtown and I think he's downtown. He might be in Pontiac. I don't know which one he was in. And the local postmaster, Mark, here in Allen Park, to make sure that they all get delivered to the houses.
Thank you, Mark.
Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Oh, before I make the motion, Mayor, I forgot one thing. I don't know if it's okay for me to advertise for the steak cookout, which we're having in Father Sailor next Wednesday from 5 to 8. If you guys are willing to participate, it will be all taken care of as far as the COVID-19 thing. We have it all set up for that. So if you
Okay.
guys want to enjoy yourself, it's $12. You get a steak, you get a baked potato, garlic bread, salad, and then you enjoy the kind of drinks you want. You have to pay for that. That's $12 for the steak and all the fixings.
Okay.
Thank you. That's all.
Motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion then.
Okay, Tony. Second by Mr. Valerius. Take the roll call.
All right, I have a motion and a support to adjourn. Pro Tem Lally,
Yes.
Councilman Lloyd,
Yes.
Mayor McLeod,
Yes.
Councilman Schlack,
Yes.
Councilwoman Syke,
Yes.
Councilman Valerius,
You're mute.
Yes.
and then Councilman Blevins. Thank you.
Yes.
The meeting is adjourned at 7:13 p.m. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you all.
Hi, guys. How you doing? Nice to see everybody.
Good night.
Good night.